Hi, Sister A here. I'm going to go over the week 1 creating the site plan instructions for WDD100. Alright, so what is a site plan? Well, a site plan is a plan that you create to show a prospective client what their site will be about and what it will look like after they pay you to make it. You're going to be like the website developer. First thing you want to do is read through this information, look at some choices, click these links, and look genuinely how they set up their pages and think to yourself, I wonder why they did that, or that looks good, I'd like to do something like that myself. So anyway, those are examples at the top of the page, and then we begin the activity directions. So those are much bigger than the site plan you're going to do and much bigger than the website you're going to build. So the site plan is the first step in the process. And you have to do a little research into what they want and decide how it can best be done and who the target audience will be. So you're going to click this link and grab the site plan template, which I have sitting open over here. And you're going to then, see if I can make it a little bigger. So you can see it better. There you go. And then you're going to follow the directions like so. All right, the first page of this site plan, I put a little image on here for you, is the title page. Documents that you turn into me must have a title page. This is a college level course, and therefore you've got to do things kind of right. Plus, if you were doing a site plan for someone, you would also put a title page for it. So what you're going to do is leave the words title page. You're going to decide on a name for the business, and then you're going to change this to the name of the business. Like mine is Rolling Rapids. And so I would change that to Rolling Rapids. Down here, you're going to put your name first and last. And you don't change WDD100. You'll just put your section number, whether you're section 1 or section 7 or section 11. You're going to put your section number. Okay, so these directions throughout your plan are going to be in red. That way, they're easy to cite, and when you're finished with a section, make sure you get rid of them, delete them. Of course, it might make everything else move, so you'll have to readjust after each time you do that. All right, the next page is the site purpose that you're going to have for your website. What's the reason for it? What's the business like? What are they after? Is it a site to make money? Is it a family-owned business? That kind of thing. And it must be a minimum of 100 words. To do it right, you've got to do more than 100. And the target audience, the same thing. You're going to decide who's going to be the target audience. You can't do it in one sentence. You've got to have at least 100 words for that one as well. So those two items should fill or come close to filling this first page all by themselves. All right, the branding, that's the logo. Right now, it's got a logo of like this sitting there, which can be clicked on and removed. And I've given you on here some images that if you click on them, dry or logos, you can look through some of these. You might find one that you like better. Now to use it, you're going to have to right-click it and save the image to your desktop, and then you'll put it into your site plan. And save it in a folder too, because you're going to be using it next week when we begin our website. So make a little folder on your desktop that's dry or pictures or something that you're going to upload for your website. Anyway, so let's say you wanted to use instead this one. And so I would right click it and I would save the image, make sure it's going to my desktop, and it's going to save it here on my desktop. Now I got to find it. There it is. Well, it's saving it. Anyway, you save it and you exchange it. You put that one where this one is. The next one is your color palette. Right now, the colors are kind of set to the one that I have, but you need to put, exchange this picture right here for your color palette that you choose. And then you're also going to put the hex numbers or RPG numbers, whichever way you want to go, down below. I suggest hex numbers because you get much better shading with those, because there's lists of colors to use. So let's go to coolers.co. That's where you're going to go for your color theme. All right, and then start the generator. Real easy. You don't have to download this. You just run it from the internet. I have a lot of things open, so it's running a little slow. All right, so it comes up with this. If you want to change it, and here's the hex number that you would put in over here. Let's say you wanted this dusty rose purplish looking thing. The way you would get different colors is click on the adjust. Oh, there we go. And you can make changes till you get the colors you like. Okay, so pick 5 colors that look good together that you think you might use. Then you're going to export it and save it as a PNG to your desktop. Then you're going to take it and exchange it over here. And it will have the hex numbers, so all you have to do is copy the hex numbers, these hex numbers, once you get it over here, and put them where you're going to use it. Your primary color goes here, the one you're going to use the most, then the secondary, and then a couple of accent colors. You only really have to list 4 for this. So pick the top 4 out of that theme. Okay, typography. You're going to choose a couple of fonts. Choose at least 2. Choose one for your headings and one for your paragraphs. And that's the one you're going to use temporarily. Now, you can go to w3schools.org and they have a color generator that you can pick your colors from. And then what you do is the color, you list the colors, or you list the font name up here where the directions are. And then you and say whether it's going to go for the headline, whether it's going to go for the paragraphs. And then you highlight this and make it the color and the font that you plan on keeping. And then do the same thing for this. The primary font you're going to use for your paragraphs, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to import that font, and you can temporarily do it from up here in excuse me, up here in Word, because those fonts are readily available, most of them, for, or one that looks like it, for using on the website. All right, so you do that section. It's not very long, it's only a couple more that we're working on. The navigation section, and don't forget you're going to highlight these and get rid of them after you're finished. You're going to think of the other 2 pages that you're going to make for your website. I did rivers, where I did a description of the rivers, and my 3rd page I did about us. But you can make them any that you want, and there's a list of possible ones down here. All right, and then whatever you pick for your navigation bar that's going to go across the top of your page, you're going to put what the link color is, and then when you hover over it, pick a color. All right, and then down below, you're going to put these same 2 names, just double click on it, and put rivers and about us, if that's your choice. All right, and this last section, you're going to leave the red instructions and this, that's called a wireframe. You're going to leave those there for now. We're not removing those. But all of the other pages, all the red should be taken out. You should have the same 2 names that you had up here in the navigation. You have chosen a font, 2 fonts that you want to use. We'll change those later in a later lesson. And you've chosen your colors. Those can change later if you choose something different. You've chosen a website logo. You've written your site purpose and target audience. And if you want a different picture, you can pick a different one, or you can keep that one. That way at least you've got some sort of an image on it. All right, pretty easy, huh? Now here's basically what you're going to want it to look like when it's finished. And this is Sister A's fantastic, and I put a copy of this over there. So here's the first page. Remember that one's just put your name, you change it. Then my overview and my target audience. And this is the logo I use on mine. Here's the color scheme that I chose for my website. Here's my primary and secondary colors, and I showed what the headlines would be, and I showed what the paragraph will look like. Here's where I show my navigation bar is going to be blue, and I'm going to have the writing in white, and my colors. And my layout map is going to have the same 2 names. And of course, I've left my wireframe page that way. And then you just save it and upload it, and that's all there is to creating your wireframe, or your site plan. All right, see you in the next video.